Welcome, my friends. If you follow this channel, you already know that layoffs are basically in full-on mode in technology companies. In fact, there has been so much layoff news that I have had difficulty finding time to cover anything else. As Google announced a company-wide layoff. Employees said they unexpectedly found their access cut off. Employees are demanding answers from leadership. Google leadership must confront the outspoken employee base who remains. Google CEO Sundar Pichai announced that the company will lay off 12,000 employees. It comes after a lot of high-profile tech layoffs. Twitter laid off 3,700. Amazon cut 18,000 jobs. Meta laid off 11,000 employees. And Microsoft laid off 10,000 people. Well, my friends, Google is no longer the gravy train that it has been. The rest and vest days are over. Also, if you follow this channel, you know that a major activist Google shareholder is demanding layoffs. Activist investor TCI Fund Management holds a $6 billion stake in Google parent company, Alphabet. TCI told Google CEO Sundar Pichai that both salary expenses and headcount must come down. This video continues our coverage of the wave of layoffs sweeping the United States and the newly announced layoffs at Google. What does it mean for Google? What does it mean for technology companies? What does it mean for Silicon Valley? What does it mean for the economy? And, what does it mean for the future of the United States? But, before we get into all of that, please press the like button and leave us a comment below. We would love to hear from you. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you are notified of upcoming videos when they are released. Google employees are scrambling for answers. From leadership and from colleagues as the company undergoes a massive layoff. On Friday, Alphabet-owned Google announced it was cutting 12,000 employees. Roughly 6% of the full-time workforce. While employees had been bracing for a potential layoff. They are questioning leadership. About the criteria for layoffs which surprised some employees. Who woke up to find their access to company properties cut off? Some of the laid-off employees had been long tenured or recently promoted, raising questions about the criteria used to decide whose jobs were cut. Shortly after CEO Sundar Pichai's initial email to employees Friday morning, Google's search boss Prabhakar Raghavan sent an email to employees, saying he also feels the responsibility to reach out, and asking for them to save questions for next week's town hall. There will be bumps in the road as the organization moves forward with the layoffs, Raghavan noted. Directors have been telling employees to hold questions for the town hall taking place next week. Google did not immediately respond to a request for comment. The scramble highlights the challenges Google could face in maintaining a supportive and productive company culture for its restive workforce of more than 160,000 full-time employees. Further confrontations are possible, as the company said it plans to lay off international employees, but has yet to determine which ones. So far in the US, employees have been laid off across business units including Chrome, Cloud, and its experimental Area 120 unit. Some employees working on the company's artificial intelligence programs were also laid off. How were the layoffs decided? Some high performers were let go from our teams, one top-rated question read. What metrics were used to determine who was laid off? Another top-rated question read. Was the decision based on their performance, scope of work, or both, or something else? Another asked, how much runway are we hoping to gain with the layoffs? And, would you explain clearly what the layoff allows Google to do that Google could not have done without layoffs? CEO Sundar Pichai said, I take full responsibility for the decisions that led us here. What does taking full responsibility entail? One employee asked on Dory. Responsibility without consequence seems like an empty platitude. Is leadership foregoing bonuses and pay raises this year? Will anyone be stepping down? Some employees came together on their own, organizing ad hoc groups to try and get answers. More than 5,000 laid-off employees started a Discord channel called Google Post Layoffs. That ranges in topics from venting to labor organizing and visa immigration. Some employees organized virtual Google meetings with people on video calls. Others tried to organize physical meetups. Some turned to the company's internal meme generator. That might be a means to connect with each other, for answers and for comfort. The sad thing is, I actually thought you were different, said Google. Alphabet leadership claims full responsibility for this decision, said Parul Kole, executive chair of Alphabet Workers Union CWA in a statement Friday. But that is little comfort to the 12,000 workers who are now without jobs, said Kole. This is egregious and unacceptable behavior by a company that made $17 billion in profit last quarter alone, Kole said. Basically, every other tech company has made substantial job cuts. And don't forget, Google suddenly changed the company's performance rating system in Q4. The web search and video sharing giant will offer US-based employees 16 weeks of severance pay plus 2 weeks for each additional year they've worked at Google, Pichai added. Shares of Google rose by more than 5% after the news was announced. So, it is clear that Wall Street is rewarding companies that announce layoffs. Tech companies are facing challenges from a number of directions right now. Rising interest rates, inflation, anemic consumer discretionary spending, and overall macroeconomic weakness. This has forced advertisers to cut back on online ad spending. And higher interest rates on cash deposits have diverted investor money away from stocks. Hikes to interest rates from the U.S. Federal Reserve in particular have led to souring appetite for American tech shares. That has clobbered technology shares. The gloomy macroeconomic climate has piled pressure on all public companies to make deep cuts to their workforces and for profits in general. On Wednesday, Amazon a layoff of 18,000 people. Then, Microsoft announced plans to lay off 10,000 workers. Elon Musk slashed over half of the company's headcount since taking control of Twitter October. Well, my friends, the Google gravy train is slamming on the brakes. Pressures from practically all directions are forcing Google to cut costs. After years of rapid growth, and over-the-top profits, and astronomical employee salaries, and unreal employee perks and benefits, the tech sector is now firmly in cost-cutting mode. Wall Street analysts are handing out stock downgrades like bathroom passes in a grade school. Shareholders are getting restless. Profit growth has become the new goalpost. And the era of easy money is over. Of course, it's not just the tech sector. All companies are facing rising costs. And they are all battling with challenging macroeconomic conditions. There's also been a recent change in how employee performance reviews work inside Google. If you follow this channel, you already know the financial narrative of these days. Inflation is raging in many countries of the world. Central banks are aggressively raising interest rates in order to fight inflation. Consumer discretionary spending is weakening as consumers deal with both inflation and rising interest rates. So, corporate marketers are cutting back on ad spending, especially online. Online ad spending is the lifeblood of many big tech companies, especially Google and Meta. Snap announced a 20% workforce reduction back in August. If you follow this channel, you already know that Google is under serious pressure from Wall Street. Activist shareholder TCI Management has said that Google must take aggressive action to trim headcount and salary expense. Google needs to deliver a clear action plan to investors, TCI Fund Management wrote in a letter to CEO Sundar Pichai. TCI Management has a stake in the Alphabet valued at $6 billion. Our conversations with former executives suggest that the business could be operated more effectively with significantly fewer employees, read the letter from TCI. We acknowledge that Alphabet employs some of the most talented and brightest computer scientists, the letter continued. But these represent only a fraction of the employee base, the TCI letter added. For non-engineering staff, the letter read, compensation should fall in line with other technology companies, the letter continued. TCI wants Google to increase its share buybacks. Shares in Alphabet have fallen more than 30% so far in 2022. Google employees have become known for a practice, rest and vest. But, what do you think? Please leave us a comment below and hit the like button. We would love to hear from you. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you are notified of upcoming videos when they are released. Please share this video on social media. Thank you for watching.